morning everyone and welcome back to the vlog. We've had 2 days of absolute torrential rain up here in Scotland and probably around 2 months worth of rain in 2 days. So I'm out looking out for some of the flooded fields with those autumnal colours. So just coming along the road, I just caught a glimpse of this beautiful scene where we've got these poplar trees which are creating this frame over this gateway, and we've got this flooded field here which is just reflecting some of those beautiful colours, some nice beech trees behind, and the light is just perfect. It's just coming down from my right hand side there, so we're getting some side light. So I'm going to just go back a little bit and see if we can capture this scene. So this is the scene that I'm looking at. You can see we've got this gateway entrance. Now I'm up closer to the trees. They're actually poplars, and what a beautiful colour they are too. And you can see behind me, we've got the sheep in the field, but you can see that the actual field is flooded. Now I'm not sure that that's how much that's going to show up, because I really want to capture this canopy of trees and branches coming over here with these beautiful colours, which means I need to be quite far back. So I don't know whether we're going to get the reflections of those sheep in that water in the flooded field. You can see we've got a burn that's coming across here, and then this scattering of poplar leaves across the field. It really is a beautiful scene. I'll show you what I'm looking at on the back of the camera. You can see that we've got these beautiful poplar trees either side of our gateway through, with the beech sat right in the background. And I don't know if you can see on the back of the camera there, but the field is absolutely flooded in front of the sheep that are grazing in the background there. So we've got this beautiful frame of these autumnal colours leading our eye through the picture, through the gate, into the distance, with the sheep in the field behind and that beautiful beech tree sat in the background. The light's changing all the time. The light's coming in from my left hand side, so we've got this side directional light, and every now and again these beautiful autumnal leaves just light up and really sort of capture the scene. I'm trying different exposures. The wind's dropped down at the moment, so I'm able to really sort of use a low ISO. I'm using going on around about 100 to 64, but then every now and again the wind picks up, so I really need to up my shutter speed. So I'm doing a couple of experimental shots, some on a low ISO and some higher, just to freeze the leaves when they're moving in the breeze. But what a stunning shot and a stunning find, just driving past and seeing this beautiful autumnal scene here. So anyway, I'm going to take a few shots, wait for the light to change, capture the trees, capture that golden yellow colour, and well, anyway, here's the shot. I'm shooting on my 28 to 70mm lens, really so that it gives me a little bit of depth with the leaves in the foreground. But I think what I'd like to do is put on the longer lens and see if I can compress that background into my image a little bit more, just to pull it all together. But the trouble is I've got a canopy of trees over my head, so I can only come back so far. So what I'll do is I'll take a few shots. I'm probably around about 35mm, but I'd like to come back and put on the longer lens and see if I can just give me a little bit more of a compressed view. We'll see. When you come across a beautiful scene like this, I highly recommend moving around the scene to see if you can get some further compositions. And that's what I've done. I've come a lot further back and I've put on my telephoto lens on around about 140mm. And what I like about this is by coming back, I've now removed perhaps the central focus of that tree that we had before with the light around it. And now perhaps the main interest is the actual gate itself, with those beautiful poplars surrounding it. And every now and again the light comes down and actually catches the gate and those trees. So we've got now perhaps less focus on our background image and more focus on our actual trees and the gateway through. And I've pretty much removed all of the sort of light and the sky around it. So now I'm just waiting for the light. What I really like about this composition is we've got the sloping hill of the field which comes down and creates this sweeping line through the front of my image, which is then separating the field behind that, which is then covered in those beautiful poplar leaves, giving off those golds and yellows. There's the sun now, so I'm just going to take off a couple of shots. I've got a breakthrough polarizer on just to cut back some of the glare off of those leaves. But anyway, I'll show you what I'm looking at on the back of the camera. So you can see on the back of the camera, I really have removed that sort of main background interest, and now the main focus is these trees either side of the gateway. And I don't know if you can just see on the back of the camera now that it's in video mode, but we've just got this sweeping line down in the lower foreground of my image of the field coming down, and then we've got the lower part which has got those leaves that are scattered across it. And you can just see now as the light's coming through, you can just see that it's touching the gate and really emphasizing the gate sat against the background. And really that sort of background image is just color. It's just, we've got some dark tones, we've got some green tones, but it really does now focus on those trees and that gateway through, making it a really different sort of image and a different feel to it. So let's take a couple of shots, and here's the image. So I've come up into the glen a little bit further. I'm still on the hunt for those beautiful autumn colours with some sort of water in my scene. And well, I've come across this beautiful area here where we've got the river flowing down into the glen, but with some beautiful autumn colours. I'm just sort of strategically balanced on a rock that just to get myself far enough out into the water, and you can see it's a little bit wobbly, so hopefully I'm going to keep my feet dry. I've left my boots in the car, so hopefully this will be okay. But I've managed to come right out into the water a bit here, and I'm just looking down into the falls. But we've got these beautiful silver birches either side, which are really just starting to turn in colour. I'm going to take a couple of shots. I'm shooting my 28 to 70 millimeter lens, and I'm around about 35 millimeters in, so I don't need too small an aperture to keep everything nice and sharp. So I'm shooting on around about f14 and focusing just about a third of the way into my image, which just checking the back of the camera. I mean, whenever you take an image like this, always check your picture afterwards just to make sure that it's nice and sharp. Zoom right in, check that background interest, check the leaves. There's a little bit of a breeze, so check there's no movement in there as well, unless that's what you're looking for. So I'm going to take a couple of shots and, well, here's the image. Another beautiful autumn scene. On to the next. So I've come around the other side of the falls and dropped down a little bit, so I'm behind those silver birches. And again, what a stunning scene. Now this is very different because now we've got the light behind us. So we're getting backlit autumnal trees, which is quite harsh at the moment, but there's enough cloud coverage just to cut back that light. And what a scene. So we've got the autumnal trees either side, the birches, just giving us a frame around our waterfall here. And then every now and again, as you can see, that back hill gets lit up, which is absolutely stunning and gives that real background interest to draw the eye up through. So I'm gonna nip behind the camera and show you what I'm looking at. So you can see on the back of my camera, we've got these silver birches which are coming up left and right of the falls here. I mean, now you can see just how bright that light is when it comes out and the cloud disappears. And you can see that it's very much backlighting in this scene. Those beautiful autumnal colours are really being lit up as that sun comes round the back there. But I'll probably end up by, so we've got the trees left and right framing our scene. We've got the waterfall coming up through the middle. I'll probably end up by cropping this image, taking some of the bottom off. Don't know yet, wait till I see back on the computer. But yeah, it's really just a waiting game now. I'm just waiting for that light to disappear behind the clouds so that it gives me a lot softer light. There's a bit of breeze, but actually I don't mind capturing that in the leaves. I think it really conjures up that we're in the glen, the wind's coming through, there's a bit of sun, so perhaps a bit of movement in the trees for this shot might work. Anyway, I'm gonna wait for that sun to disappear behind the clouds, and well, if it does, here's the shot. funny, I started out this episode of the vlog thinking that it would be great to chase the floodwaters and get those scenes with trees and reflecting in the water. But there's been so many road closures and so many places that are just too difficult to get to that I've got to change course a bit, and now I'm really looking for those autumnal colours. And it's funny, you collect all of these different locations through the year, you find them and you think that'll be great to photograph when the autumn colours are coming through, and then autumn is such a short period of time before the winds hit and the leaves start leaving the trees. So it's really a case of getting to those places, exploring them and capturing those stunning scenes, and especially on a day like today with this beautiful light. So on to the next scene. I always feel incredibly fortunate to live up in Scotland. There's so much diverse landscape on my doorstep. And the nice thing is that if I go to an area that I can't photograph, if it's because of weather or something's happening, I can quickly move on to the next. And this is that perfect example. You know, we started off the vlog and I'm in the middle of a field photographing a gate and some trees. Now I'm in a forest. Who knows where I'll end up next? I'm definitely a couple of weeks too early for this particular scene. This majestic line of beech trees which follow the path through here are still very much in their green leaves, but you can see the path is covered in these copper leaves which really just break up the path, and it does make a stunning scene. Unfortunately, that light coming through those trees, as stunning as it is just that little bit too bright to capture. So what I'm doing is I'm just positioned the camera and I'm just hoping that some cloud's going to come across the sun there, and so we'll wait. Sometimes when I'm doing this I feel like a weatherman because I'm always talking about the weather, the clouds and the light, but so what I'm going to do is just wait here and hopefully some of that sun will go behind the cloud and I'll be able to get a shot, and well, if I do, here's the image. Well, I think that's the perfect place to end the vlog. And what a diversity we've had. We started off looking to photograph floodwater with trees reflecting the autumnal colours, and then because of road closures and not being able to get to certain places, we've ended up here. And I think that's often the case when we're out photographing. Things don't always go to plan, but that's the advantages of having the recce's during the rest of the year, checking out places and thinking, yeah, that's going to be perfect at that time of the year. And this is what's happened. We've got those stunning autumnal colours. We've still got the water, but some falls. And well, it doesn't, for a photographer, it really doesn't get any better than that. So I hope you've enjoyed the vlog. If you have, please subscribe. It really helps the channel. Don't forget to hit the bell notification button. And well, who knows where we're going to end up in the next episode. And thanks for watching.